Okay guys, let's begin with the questions on quadratic equations now. We have the first question asking us to check which ones are actually quadratic equations. Let's try and check. You have x minus 2 into x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 into x plus 3. See, a quadratic equation looks like ax square plus bx plus c equals 0 where a is not equal to 0. Right now in the first look, this equation is not looking like resembling a quadratic equation. So we need to solve it, simplify it somehow and see in its lowest, most simplified form, is it resembling a quadratic equation's general format or not. So let's begin. X into x, x square plus x minus 2x minus 2. X square plus x minus 2, x minus 2 is same as x square plus 3x minus x minus 3. X square cancels out from both sides. You have x minus 2x, that is minus x. 3x minus x is 2x, here it is minus 2x, so you are left with minus 3x. Because it is x minus 2x. X minus 2x is minus x, minus 3x is minus 2x plus x is minus x. So basically here you have what? X minus 2x gives you minus x minus 2, here it is minus 3x plus 3 equals 0. So you have minus x plus x cancels out, 3 minus 2 is 1, so you have 1 minus 3x equals 0. Obviously, this is not resembling ax square plus bx plus c equals 0 where a is not equal to 0. Here if I write it as ax square plus bx plus c, a is equal to 0, which is coefficient of x square. So this is not a quadratic equation for sure. If I now try to check for the second one, in the first look it is looking like a cubic equation, power is 3. But let's try to simplify. You have x cube minus 4x square minus x plus 1 equals x minus 2 whole cube. A minus b whole cube is a cube minus b cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square. So you have a cube minus b cube minus 3a square b. So 3 into 2, 6x square plus 3ab square. 2 square is 4, 4 into 3 is 12, 12x. Clearly x cube cancels out. You have minus 4x square plus 6x square, 2x square, minus x minus 12 minus 13x, plus 1 plus 8 is plus 9. Obviously, it is resembling ax square plus bx plus c where a is not equal to 0 because this is playing the role of a, minus 13 is playing the role of b and 9 is playing the role of c and a is not equal to 0. So yes, this is definitely resembling a quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. Next question says what? Let's see. Find the value of k for which this quadratic equation has two equal roots. You all know that a quadratic equation has equal roots if and only if its discriminant is equal to 0. If I try to look at this equation, it's not resembling right now the general form of a quadratic equation, which is ax square plus bx plus c. So we are first going to reduce it to that form and then we'll compare what is the value of a, what is the value of b, what is the value of c, and then plug it in the formula for discriminant. Use discriminant equal to 0 condition because it is given that this equation has equal roots, and then find out the value of k. So here I have kx, x minus 2 plus 6 equals 0. Simplify, this gives you kx square minus 2kx plus 6 equals 0. Right now you see coefficient of x square is k, so this is a. Coefficient of x is minus 2k, so this is b, and this is your c. If this is a quadratic equation which is given to me, it is given that this is a quadratic equation, then definitely a is not equal to 0. That means for sure k is not equal to 0 because if k will be equal to 0, coefficient of x square will be equal to 0, I will not be having the degree of the equation then as 2 because it will be 0x square minus 2kx plus 6. So even this, because here also k is sitting, minus 2 into 0 into x, that will give you 0, so you will just be left with a constant 6, which is definitely not a quadratic equation. So if this is a quadratic equation, coefficient of x square has to be not equal to 0. If coefficient of x square here is k, that means k is not equal to 0, because it is given to you that this is a quadratic equation. So this is there. You know if this quadratic equation has equal roots, so I'll write 1 has equal roots implies discriminant is 0, that is b square minus 4ac is 0, where b is minus 2k, a is k and c is 6. Discriminant will be 0, that is b square minus 4ac, b square is minus 2k whole square minus 4 into a into c is 0, that gives you 4k square minus 24k is 0. This gives you k comes out, you're left with 4k, or let 4k come out. Yeah, so you're left with k minus 6 is 0. Product of two things is 0, means either this is 0 or this is 0. 4k is 0 means k is 0, or k minus 6 is 0, that means k is 6. These are the two values of k that are coming up for the quadratic equation when it is known that it has equal roots. But k is not allowed to be 0, because if k will be 0, then this equation will no more be quadratic. So I cannot accept k. My answer is that k is equal to 6. That's how you eliminate the alternate value of k which is coming up, because you are not getting a unique value of k, you are getting 2. But out of those two, one cannot be possibly taken, and therefore the other one becomes the only value of k for which this quadratic equation is going to have equal roots. Okay? Moving to the next question, we have find the discriminant of the quadratic equation given to you and hence find the nature of its roots. So you know how the discriminant actually gives you a detailed information about the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation. If you have 2x square minus 4x plus 3 equals 0, this is the quadratic equation. Compare it with the general form. You have a is 2, which is obviously not equal to 0. You have minus 4 as b, that is coefficient of x, and you have c as 3. It is resembling a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. Find out the discriminant. Discriminant is b square minus 4ac. B square is what? Minus 4 whole square. Minus 4 into a is 2 and c is 3. This is 16 minus 4 into 2 is 8. 8 into 3 is 24. This gives you minus 8, which is negative. The moment discriminant is negative, this implies what? That this quadratic equation has absolutely no real roots. When discriminant is positive, the quadratic equation has two distinct real roots. When discriminant is equal to 0, the quadratic equation has two real equal roots. That means only one distinct root. And when discriminant is negative, that means the quadratic equation has absolutely no real roots. So this implies this quadratic equation has no real roots. That means there is no real number which, if I will plug in the place of x, this equation will get satisfied. That means there is no real number which I put in on the left hand side. This is the left hand side of this equation and the right hand side is 0. There is no real number that you can plug in the place of x and solve your left hand side and then you can get 0. There is no real number which will make the left hand side equal to right hand side when plugged in the place of x. That means there are no real values of x which are zeros of this equation or roots of this equation. Fine. That is the nature of the roots for this equation. Find the roots of the given quadratic equation if they exist by the method of completing the square. Let's see whether the roots exist or not by the method of completing the square as well. You have 2x square plus x minus 4 equals 0. We have in the theory lectures witnessed a quadratic equation whose roots we tried to find by the method of completing the square, but then there was a step which actually made us very, very sure that there are no real roots which exist of that quadratic equation. So in the process of obtaining roots of this quadratic equation by completing the square method only, you find out whether it is further solvable or not. If it is not, then you declare that there are no roots possible, no real roots possible, and if it is, then in the end you find out the roots. Let's see. What is the first step? First step is to make the coefficient of x square 1. So you divide throughout by 2, you get x square plus x by 2 minus 4 by 2, that is 2, 0 by 2 is 0. I have made the coefficient of x square 1. Now what you do, you can see coefficient of x is 1 by 2. So you add half of coefficient of x whole square and subtract half of coefficient of x whole square. You add and subtract the same thing. What does this become? This is x plus 1 by 4 whole square. You can check, it is x square plus 1 by 4 whole square plus 2ab, 2 into x into 1 by 4, 2 into x into 1 by 4 is x by 2, which is this. This all will go on the right hand side. This is 1 by 4 whole square, which is 1 by 16 plus 2. This is 33 by 16. Is there any x? Suppose you would have got a negative sign over here. Suppose. That means you would have got, this is a real number whose square is negative, which is definitely not possible, and therefore the next line would have been, because there is no real number x which when you add to 1 by 4 and square it, you get a negative number, because square of any real number is never negative. That is why there is no real number x which can satisfy this equation when it is negative. That means there is no real x which can satisfy even this equation, and therefore this has no real roots. But right now, because we are having this coming out to be positive, that means this equation is further solvable, so it has roots. Let's find out. If x plus 1 by 4 whole square is 33 by 16, that means x plus 1 by 4 is plus minus square root of 33 by 16, which eventually gives you plus minus root 33 by 4. Root 16 is 4. So x is minus 1 by 4 plus minus root 33 by 4. These are the roots. You have got the roots. This is minus 1 plus minus root 33 whole upon 4. The two values of x, which when you plug in over here on the left hand side, you get the answer as equal to 0, which is the right hand side, are what? One is minus 1 plus root 3 by 4, another is minus 1 minus root 3 by 4. So yes, the roots of this quadratic equation, they do exist when I have solved it by the method of completing the square, and these are the two roots. Next question says what? The sum of the reciprocals of Rahman's age 3 years ago and 5 years from now is 1 by 3. Find his present age. What is the question trying to say? We need to find the present age. I am saying let his present age be equal to x years. If present age is x years, 3 years ago, 3 years ago it is x minus 3 years, and 5 years from now, after 5 years, it will be x plus 5. It is saying sum of reciprocals of these two numbers, age 3 years ago and age 5 years from now. Reciprocal of age 3 years ago, reciprocal of age 5 years from now, their sum is 1 by 3. Find the value of x. Okay, let's find out the LCM. This would be x plus 5 plus x minus 3 whole upon x minus 3 into x plus 5. This is 1 by 3. X plus x gives you 2x. 5 minus 3 gives you 2. 2x plus 2 into 3, I am just cross multiplying, is equal to x minus 3 into x plus 5, which is x square plus 5x minus 3x minus 15. So you have 6x plus 6 equals x square plus 2x minus 15. just solving, nothing else. So you have x square plus 2x minus 6x minus 15 plus 6, 9. Right, what do you have? X square plus 2x minus 6x, so that gives you x square minus 4x, minus 15 minus 6 it is. So this is minus 21. Minus 15 minus 6 gives you minus 21. Now the moment you have this quadratic equation, I have to find the value of x. That means I have to find the value of x which satisfies this, right? That means I have to find the zeros of this quadratic equation. There are 3 methods. Either you break the middle term, or you use the quadratic formula, or you use the method of completing the square. Anything you can do. Right now it is very much evident to me that 7 into 3 is 21 and 7 minus 3 is 4. So 7 and 3 are 2 numbers that I have got which are relatable to 4 also and 21 also. So my most convenient method right now would be breaking the middle term. So let's do that. X square minus 7x plus 3x minus 21. Minus 7 plus 3 is minus 4. Minus 7 into 3 is minus 21. So you have x minus 7 plus 3, x minus 7. So you have x plus 3 and x minus 7 equals 0. X is something which is satisfying this. That means, now what values of x satisfy this? If I talk about these two factors, this into this is 0 when either this is 0 or this is 0. This is 0 means x is minus 3. This is 0 means x is 7. X is representing the age of a person. How can age of a person be minus 3 years? So obviously x is not equal to minus 3, x is 7. So right now Rahman's age is 7. If you are so sure that the sum of the reciprocals of his age 3 years ago and 5 years from now is 1 by 3. Clear? Moving to the next question, we have the altitude of a right angled triangle is 7 centimeters less than its base. Okay, if the hypotenuse is 13 centimeters, find the other two sides. Hypotenuse is given as 13 centimeters. Let me say this is A, B, C. It's given that this height AB is 7 centimeters less. AB is 7 centimeters less than its base. So base minus 7 centimeters is the length. From the base, when you remove 7 centimeters, that is the length of the altitude. So length is 7 centimeters less than the base. BC is the base, AB is the altitude. Length of the altitude is 7 centimeters less than the base. Suppose the base length is x. Suppose the base length is x, then AB's length is x minus 7. What is it saying? It's saying the altitude is 7 centimeters less than its base, right? That means the altitude's length is 7 centimeters less than the base length, right? Altitude is 7 centimeters less than the base, so that gives me AB is x minus 7. I have to find the value of x. Of course, if it is a right angled triangle, I will use the Pythagoras theorem. Hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus perpendicular square. Resolve it. You get x square plus 49 minus 14x equals 169. 2x square minus 14x, this is 49 minus 169 is minus 120. Isn't it? X square plus x square, 2x square minus 14x plus 49 minus 169. 169 minus 49 is 120 with a minus sign. This gives you x square minus 7x minus 60 is 0. Now again this is a quadratic equation. In order to solve this, you can either use breaking the middle term or quadratic formula or completing the square. All the three options are available with you. But right now, if you look at 60 and 7, 12 into 5 is 60 and 12 minus 5 is 7. So 12 and 5 are the two numbers that I was fetching and I have got them. So let's just use breaking the middle term. X square minus 12x plus 5x minus 60 is 0. Minus 12 plus 5 is minus 7. Minus 12 into 5 is minus 60. So you have x minus 12 plus 5 x minus 12. This gives you x minus 12, x plus 5 equals 0. That means x is 12 or x is minus 5. Again, x is the length of the base. Length of any segment can never be negative. So you have base length is 12 and the length of the altitude is, the base length is 12 and the length of the altitude is 12 minus 7, which is 5 centimeters. So you have base is 12 centimeters, height is 5 centimeters, hypotenuse is 13 centimeters. Next you have what? The difference of squares of two numbers is 180. So there are two numbers, the difference of whose squares is 180. Suppose one number is x, another number is y. So x square minus y square is given as 180. Then it is given the square of smaller number is 8 times the larger number. So I am saying let y be the smaller number out of these two. So obviously x is therefore the larger number. I am just letting one number has to be smaller than the other. So say y is the smaller number, x is the larger number, such that x square minus y square is 180. Further it says another relationship is there. Square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number. Square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number. So you have y square is 8x and x square minus y square is 180. When you use this over here, you get x square minus 8x equals 180. Find x and find y, that is what it says, find the two numbers x and y. X and y are such that this is also holding and this is also holding, that means actually x and y are such that this is holding. So if this is holding for sure, I need to from this equation solve for the value of x. The moment I have x, I will multiply it with 8 and get the value of y. So you have x square minus 8x minus 180 equals 0. This is what I need to solve and this is nothing but your quadratic equation. Again, you can solve this by any method. Okay, you can solve this by any method. Let's try to use our quadratic formula for this. So your a is 1, b is minus 8 and c is 180. This is y square equals 8x, so this is what you have. So discriminant first of all is b square minus 4 into a is 1 and c is 180. So this is 64 minus, what is it that you have? And this is negative. How do you use this particular fact to conclude something about these numbers? It is saying the difference of square of two numbers is 180. The square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number. So I have replaced y square by 8x. Now you have x square minus 8x is 180. That gives you x square minus 8x minus 180 is 0. And we were trying to solve this to find the value of x and y. If the discriminant of this quadratic equation has come out to be negative, how do you think you would conclude something about the value of x and y? Try to think upon it and we'll be right back at the same question. So over here, as you were trying to solve this quadratic equation, please mind it, this is very frequently committed mistake. A over here is 1, b is minus 8 and c is minus 180. So obviously when I am trying to calculate the discriminant, what do I get? The discriminant is b square minus 4 into a into c, that is again minus 180. So obviously this is 64 plus 180 into 4. That gives you this, and then you have 4 and 784. Okay? This is 6, 4 plus 0 gives you 4, 6 plus 2 is 8 and there is 7. So obviously this is positive. Fine? And therefore this equation is going to have two real roots. Fine? You can further go ahead, find out the value of those two alpha and beta roots. By what form? By the quadratic formula, which is minus b plus minus root d upon 2a. Fine? Or rather than that, if you can just identify 18 into 10 is 180 and 18 minus 10 is 8. So let's use that also. This also can give you the exact same answer. You can please try at home by yourself. You have x square minus 18x plus 10x minus 180. So minus 18 plus 10 gives me minus 8, and minus 18 into 10 gives me 180. This is x minus 18 plus 10 x minus 18. This gives you x plus 10 x minus 18, which obviously gives you x is minus 10 and x is 18. Can you accept x equals minus 10 over here or not? If you take x equals minus 10, y square will come out to be 8 into minus 10, which is minus 80, which is negative. Y is definitely a real number. Square of any real number can never be negative. Therefore, x is not allowed to be negative. If suppose y square would have been minus 8x, then I would have accepted x equals minus 10, because that would have given me minus 10 into minus 8, which is plus 80. So that is an acceptable value of y square. But because I am not having this over here, that is why I cannot accept negative value of x. So x equals minus 10 is not acceptable. X is 18. If x is 18, y is what? Y square is 8 into 18. This gives me what? 144. So y is square root of 144, which is plus minus 12. So the two numbers such that the difference of this square is 180, and the smaller number or the square of the smaller number is 8 times the larger number, can be x18 y12. In this case, smaller number is y, greater number is x, or x18 y minus 12. Again, smaller number is y, larger number is x. These are the two very favorable values of x and y satisfying the two conditions, that the difference of their squares is 180 and the smaller one's square is 8 times the larger one. Next question, let's see, is what? So here this has stopped working. Let's just try to find out why this is not working. Let's just take a break. Okay, so continuing with the discussion of the questions, let's look at the next question. It says in the following, is the following situation possible or not possible? If so, determine their present ages. What is written? The sum of the ages of two friends is 20 years. There are two friends, the sum of their ages is 20. So suppose age of the first friend is x, x years, then obviously his age plus the age of the second friend is 20 years. So the age of the second friend will have to be 20 minus x. I am not interested, I am never interested in incorporating two variables in one situation. I always try to keep the situations involving one single variable, because we have only learned how to solve quadratic equations in one variable. So age of second friend, I will not say let it be y such that x plus y is 20. I will be writing y in terms of x only. Y in that case will be 20 minus x. Now I have taken the age of the two friends such that when you add them you get 20. Further it says the sum of the ages of two friends is 20. 4 years ago the product of their ages was 48. 4 years ago. So if right now his age is x years, 4 years ago it is x minus 4, and his age 4 years ago is 20 minus x minus 4. That is 16 minus x years. So 4 years ago, if these are their ages, its product is given to be 48. So you have x minus 4 into 16 minus x is 48. This gives you 16x minus x square minus 64 plus 4x equals 48. This gives you minus x square. 16 plus 4 is 20. Minus 64 minus 48 gives you minus 112. Right? This is what you have. So you can write this as x square minus 20x plus 112 equals 0. Now you have what? Is this situation possible, they are asking. The situation is possible only when I get real roots of this quadratic equation, because that is going to give me a good justified value of x and hence a good justified value of 20 minus x. Right? So, there will be friends which have those realistic values as their ages such that the conditions given are satisfied. So, the entire thing depends upon the roots of this quadratic equation. That is going to be decided by the discriminant. If discriminant comes out to be greater than or equal to 0, real roots of this equation will exist. If it comes out to be negative, then no real roots will exist. So, this situation is not possible. Realistic ages of these two friends cannot exist which satisfies such a scenario. So, discriminant is b square minus 4ac, b is minus 20 square is 400, minus 4 into 1 into 112. This is 400 minus 448, which is minus 48, which is negative, and therefore this situation is not possible. Clear? Is this possible? No, it's not possible. There do not exist two friends the sum of whose ages is 20 years such that 4 years ago the product of their ages was 48. No, that's not possible. In realistic world, that's not. A rectangular park is to be designed whose breadth is 3 meters less than its length. So, breadth is 3 meters less than its length. Let's try to make a rectangle. This is the rectangle. Obviously, this is the length and that's the breadth. So, say I mark it as A, B, C, D. I am saying the breadth is 3 meters less than the length. This is the breadth is 3 meters less than the length. So, AD is the length minus 3 centimeters is the breadth. Breadth is obtained when you remove 3 centimeters from the length. Fine. CD or AB is the breadth and AD or BC is the length. Both of them are the lengths. You know, in a rectangle, opposite sides are of equal measure. So, if I take breadth as x centimeters, if I take breadth as x centimeters, this is the breadth, then length would be x plus 3, right? So, this is x plus 3. This is also x plus 3. So, we take breadth as x, then length is x plus 3 because it is given that breadth is 3 centimeters. This is meters. So, let us not take centimeters, it is actually meters. So, breadth is what? 3 meters less than the length. So, if breadth is x, length is x plus 3. Its area is to be 4 square meters more than the area of a park which is made in the shape of an isosceles triangle with its base as the breadth of the rectangular park. Keeping the base of the triangle as the breadth of the rectangular park, there is an isosceles triangle made. That means the base of the triangle is of x meters because it is made on the breadth of the rectangle, and it is also given that the altitude of that triangle is 12 meters. So, the height is given to you, it is 12 meters. Then they are talking about their areas. It is saying that area of the rectangle, so area of ABCD is 4 square meters more than the area of this triangular park, which is PAB. Okay. What is area of ABCD? Area of a rectangle is length into breadth. So, it is x into x plus 3 equals 4 plus half into base into height is the area of triangle. So, it is half into base is x, height is 12. This is what you have. Let us try to solve this. This is x square plus 3x equals 4 plus 6x. X square minus 3x, because 3x minus 6x is minus 3x, minus 4 is 0. Find the length and the breadth. You have to find the value of x and the value of x plus 3. X's value is going to come by solving this equation. When you solve this equation, what do you get? You want what? Can I write this? Minus 4x plus x minus 4. Can I break it like this? This is x square minus 4x plus x minus 4. Minus 4 plus 1 gives you minus 3. Minus 4 into 1 gives you minus 4. So you have x minus 4 plus 1, x minus 4. So you have x minus 4, x plus 1 equals 0. X is 4 and x is minus 1. Obviously, x is the length of a side of a rectangle, so it cannot be negative. So x is 4 and so length is 7. You could have also used the quadratic formula. X is minus b. Minus b means 4 plus minus root over b square minus 4 into 1, or this is it. Okay, so b is actually minus 3. This is the equation. B square, this is minus b, so it is 3, plus minus root over b square minus 4 into a into c upon 2 into a. Minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac upon 2a, it is 3 plus minus root over 9 plus 16, that is 25 upon 2, that would have given you 3 plus minus 5 upon 2. 3 plus 5 is 8 upon 2, which gives you 4. 3 minus 5 is minus 2 upon 2, which gives you minus 1. You have got the same values of x, 4 and minus 1. You reject this and you accept this. Accordingly, the lengths side come as 7 and breadth is 4. Going to the next question, we have a pole is to be erected at a point on the boundary of a circular park. So there is a circular park. Let's try to see what the situation the question is trying to put us into. So there is a circular park. Okay. The diameter of this circular park is 13 meters. Diameter is the longest chord. This is the diameter, right? Anyway, you can draw it. I have drawn it like this, such that this is 13 meters. Say this is A and this is B. In such a way that the difference of this pole's distance from the two diametrically opposite fixed gates A and B on the boundary is 7 meters. That means, suppose this is the point where the pole is lying, somewhere on the boundary of this circular region. Then, let me mark it like this. Then what is happening is actually, you measure that pole's distance from A and B, which are opposite points of this diameter. So you measure distance between the pole and the first gate, distance between the pole and the second gate. You measure PA and you measure PB. It is given that the difference of this pole's distance from A and B is given to be 7 meters. So it actually is trying to say AP minus BP is 7. This is how much this pole is far from the first gate. This is how much the pole is far from the second gate. The difference in these two distances is 7. Fine. Is it possible to construct or erect such a pole in the very boundary of a circular park such that the distance of this pole, the difference of the distances of this pole from these two endpoints is 7. What I do, I take this as x. I take this as x. And therefore, automatically the moment BP is taken as x, AP will be 7 plus x. Automatically this is 7 plus x because of the condition that AP minus BP is 7. So if BP is x, 7 plus x is AP. Obviously, you can very clearly identify what is this. Why am I so sure it is a right angle? Why am I so sure it's a right angle? Because this is the diameter and this is a semicircle. Angle which comes up from the endpoints of the diameter and it is subtended at the semicircle is always of 90 degrees. We have done this in circles. Angle in a semicircle is of 90 degrees. And therefore, this happens to be a right angled triangle, which gives you a very easy way to compute the value of x and hence x plus 7, which is what that hypotenuse square is base square plus perpendicular square. Okay, so if such a pole can be kept in the boundary of a circle such that PA minus PB is 7, then I will have 13 square equals x square plus x plus 7 whole square satisfied by at least one real value of x. Let's see if that's possible or not. 13 square is x square plus x plus 7 whole square. That gives you x square plus 49 plus 14x equals 169. This is 2x square plus 14x minus 120 equals 0. This is x square plus 7x minus 60 equals 0. Right? We just did something like this only. I told you 12 into 5 is 60, 12 minus 5 is 7. So x square plus 12x minus 5x minus 60 is 0. 12 minus 5 is 7, 12 into minus 5 is minus 60. So you have x plus 12 minus 5x plus 12 is 0. So you get x plus 12, x minus 5 is 0. X is coming out to be minus 12 and 5. X is the measure of a side, so it cannot be minus 12. Yes, there is a real number which is satisfying 13 square equals x square plus x plus 7 whole square. That means yes, it is possible to erect a pole in the boundary of a circular park such that PA minus PB is 7 meters when the diameter is 13 meters. And what is the condition? That you should place the pole 12 meters away from the first gate. Why? Because x is 5, 5 plus 7 is 12, and you should place the pole 5 meters away from the second gate, that is B. Then the pole is going to come up and sit on the circular region's boundary. It should be 12 meters away from the first gate and 5 meters away from the second gate. In that situation, PA minus PB will be 12 minus 5, that is 7. Fine, and that is your answer. Yes, it is possible to do so. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, and we have got the solution. That completes our discussion over the questions. Please go through all of them very nicely. That's it from my side. Thank you.